Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome again to my channel, The Power of Consciousness. And actually, I'm very excited. This time, I have a man with me who has, I would like to say, not only witnessed the evolution of coaching, but actually shaped it from the very beginning. So I'm very proud to introduce Zoran Todorovic, who is a visionary, way shower, the founder of TNM Coaching, a global coaching company, and a company that is guiding individuals, leaders, organizations into deeper purpose and greater possibilities for over 3 decades, I think. Zoran is also a master certified coach, and Zoran is one person that actually helped to put the very foundation of what modern coaching is today. And his approach is multidimensional, rooted in business strategies, in creativity, in emotional intelligence, and conscious living. I have had the opportunity to learn from Zoran and from his leadership, and I'm really very happy to be able to introduce him here to all of you that has done classes with me all over the world. And I really hope that you will be able also to take your time and listen to Zoran and his experience. And as all of you know, I have spent my life traveling around, teaching people in the tools of access consciousness, but also life orientation. But with the training, that I attended for TNM coaching, which is called Advanced Master Coaching, I'd like to say that I have added a new dimension to my work. And this is what I would like you to take part of, as I'm also becoming a PCC certified coach in the future. So, Zoran, before we dive into questions and conversations here, I would like to say that I'm really thank you to you, and very grateful for taking your time and for your presence. And I'm very grateful for your work and how generously you shared your wisdom. Not only have I taken classes with you, but I have actually listened to many of your podcasts and your teachings, and I love to listen to all the tools that you actually so generously gift to people. So welcome, Zoran. Welcome one more time.
Thank you so much, Vladica, and I'm equally humbled to be with you because I also value and appreciate your work as a teacher and guide and coach. I know how powerful your presence is, so it's really humbling for me also to be with you as well. And thank you so much for invitation to this podcast. I'm really grateful to be with you.
Thank you. So let's start with our first question. As I learned in your training that curiosity is a capacity to have as a coach. So actually, can you talk more about that? What first awakened your curiosity about energy, about consciousness in coaching?
I mean, that's a wonderful topic to start with. Beginner's mind is always a beautiful concept, from a traditional Chinese philosophy, but also from Buddhism and from many other spiritual teachings. We always say that the beginner's mind, our ability to be curious, to be open, to be fresh to the new beginnings is something that we need to learn throughout our life. And it's not only when we're children that we, are so curious about the world and our surroundings, our parents, school, the learning the topics, but throughout our life, this is an ongoing practice of curiosity. And what really kind of sparked me into my curiosity around coaching and human development was that I was always curious about people. There are two things. First of all, I knew that the planet that we live in is absolutely wonderful and perfect on so many different levels, but also there were things that I was noticing as I was growing up that were not right. There was something wrong. And I always was asking myself a question, what is wrong? How come we live in this amazing planet Earth and things are wrong? We have conflicts, we have misunderstandings, we have war, we have many things that are going on. We have death and rebirth. So my curiosity was coming from two point of view. How can we get humanity to become the most beautiful and best possible version of itself? Because I always believed and I knew that humanity has a capacity to achieve its full potential, including myself as well. And then how can we create the world that we call the new world or the new earth when unnecessary things like conflict, poverty, misery, it's not necessary any longer to be part of it. So I was curious, how can we do that as well, both at the same time?
So that's actually huge. And my question is, so how? What did you find out?
Well, I found out in my learning journey, in coaching specifically, one of the most important premises of coaching that I found out was that people have solutions to their issues within themselves. And I think that that was the first foundation of empowerment. When we begin believing as humanity that everything that we need to resolve, change, heal, transform, it's within ourselves, and
Yeah.
more specifically in our soul, that is the highest and most advanced version of ourselves within our human body, then we have solutions, right? We have clues, we have wisdom, we have knowledge. So this was the first thing that I found out, that there is a possibility, right? And with this possibility is how do we get in relationship to these aspects of ourselves within our human organic intelligence so that we can make sure that we are accessing those aspects of ourselves that are creating those solutions. So that's the first thing. And the second thing, when it comes to the global and planetary level, I also learned and understood through my own research and me being trained by other teachers in my really early ages and even now, that this planet Earth is going through cycles,
Mhm.
and that there are certain things that we have to understand about creation, about nature, about cycles to be able to align. And sometimes certain cycles look like negative, but actually they're necessary for us to be able to get to the next iteration of evolution. And I also learned that human consciousness, humanity, has evolutionary patterns, and that we all are growing in our own life, but we also growing as a collective human consciousness. So to sum it up for you, we all have the solution inside of ourselves. We just have to access them. You have to find them, and that's why coaching works really well. We all are in the cycle of evolution. We are learning, growing, and developing. There are specific cycles that we need to go through. And humanity is remarkable. Humanity has an amazing potential that needs to be realized. So those are the three things that I found out in my curiosity as we go forward.
Yeah, I am on board with that, as I have also met people from all over the world, and it's amazing to actually be a part of a shift where you give people a tool and they actually change
Mhm.
everything and they have the
Mhm.
answer. But
Mhm.
so could you like share for our listeners here? Do you have like a moment where sensing energy, because you're talking also about energy, sensing energy shifted the outcome of a session, of a coaching session, as coaching is about
Mhm.
asking questions, but why you also talk about energy?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, for me, people talk about energy from different contexts, and the context that I'm relating to when we talk about energy is something that we call a quantum mega field. In
Mhm.
our evolution, in our terminology, we call it quantum mega field. And mega field, it's the energy that is interconnecting existence. It's what we call chi prana force. It's the energy that is always present and available. But some of us we know how to access it, we know how to connect to it, and some of us are still learning. Some of us are doing it intuitively, some of us are doing it consciously, some of us are believing it, and some of us are not believing in it. So it's a different relationship with the energy. So when we learn how to connect to the energy grid around us, which is what it interconnects us all. This is a invisible fabric of reality that connects me and you and everybody else and all the plants and animals and crystals and minerals and energetic grid of this planet Earth. When we know how to connect to that and we practice this level of connectivity, then we are able to develop or remember our sensitivities. We are able to activate that capacity inside ourselves. And then when we coach people, we can coach them energetically, basically. So that means when you start coaching session and you tune in to somebody that you coach in front of you, you feel their energy through this grid of consciousness, and they're open to, allow you to feel them, and they share this back with you, then immediately you can coach them energetically. You don't need to talk any longer. You can just be in a stillness and silence. You can be in presence. You can share one word or two words. You can share many words, but the real communication, the real broadband, it's happening through the energy of the connection. So that's how I see it, and that's how I teach as well. When it comes to coaches, for me, the most important level of maturity of advanced and master coaching is being able to understand the energy, not the words.
Wow, this gives me goosebumps.
Yeah,
It's actually
thank you.
such a reminder that the change doesn't always come through words, right?
Mm,
Change is in a field, in a presence, in a meeting,
yeah.
in touch, maybe, in yeah.
In
So
embodiment as well. And just to add, Ben, for people who are much more linear or scientific, people who listen to this from that point of view, what we're talking about is it's pure physics. This is not esoteric on a level that now we are inviting people to sense and see invisible. But if you go into the physical experimentation, for example, the scientists from the area of the world that you and I come from, Vladica, Nikola Tesla,
yes.
was one of the first people who has managed to physicalize and to actually show the physicality of quantum field and show people how the quantum field actually works, and what are the laws of physics that are supporting what we're talking about, how the invisible becomes visible. The very fact that we have electricity that we don't see running through the wires, firing all of this connection that you and I have right now, the light, the studio, the microphone, but we can't touch it, we can't feel it. It's also a physicalization of the quantum field. So for the people who are scientific and linear, I would love to invite you to see it from that point of view as well, because sometimes when we talk about this as a topic, people feel that they don't have a connection. We all do, right?
I actually just came back from Global Coaching Summit in Munich, where
Mhm.
professors from the university presented this possibility. So I have a sense that there is an opening in the linear world about energy, and it's not just something that we um, dream about, but it is a possibility how we now can integrate that in our daily life and live with the fast-paced technique that is coming and so on. But yeah, so it's very, very interesting. It's really very interesting. It's also interesting in a way, how can we in the fast moving world here connect more, as you said, with that, with the energy, with the planet, because we are so disconnected from our own rhythm. So
Mhm.
what do you do? Like, do you have any daily rituals, or do you have any energetic tools that keeps you like
Yeah.
tuned into this?
Yeah, yeah. So for me, I'm just going to share a few bits and pieces that indirectly answering your question. So for me nowadays, what is the most important thing I think for your listeners to be in relationship with, for all of us to be in relationship with, is what we call the notion of organic intelligence.
Yeah.
Because we're so exposed to artificial intelligence nowadays, and we are so tuned into the Borg of artificial intelligence through technology, and recently through everybody using the ChatGPT. So it's lovely, it's great, it's wonderful. It gives us a lot of energy, a lot of strength in speed. It gives us a speed. Information goes very quickly. And if we don't learn how to connect to the organic intelligence of ourselves, then we are at risk of losing that connection or not being really fully present. So my rituals, are all about connection to the organic intelligence inside of myself. So first of all, understanding that we have a energetic circuits inside of our body that are our organic intelligence, our memory capacity through the nervous system, our emotional capacity through the emotional systems, our physical capacity, of course, through our physical body, our quantum capacity to what we talked about, the invisible energy and field around us. This all creates something that we call a human operating system or human organic intelligence system that we need to cultivate nowadays. We really need to give it a space, especially if you're somebody who is a practitioner, who is a coach, who has been trained in access consciousness, who has been trained with you, Vladica. We also need to give it a importance at this moment in time, because technology, it's really challenging us all, because we're losing ourselves a little bit. So my morning practices are first of all connected to nature. Yeah, I think that wherever you are, even if you live in an urban environment, even if you're in a flat, even if you are in a city, it doesn't really matter. Find that point of nature connection inside of yourself. That can be jogging, walking, going to the water, whatever works for you. Yeah, walking your dog, being in a park, but the connection to the nature, because nature has this intelligence that we call organic intelligence. So that's my first point. The second point is breath work. I think that breath work came and became big in last 3 years
Mm-hmm.
because with humanity needs to learn how to breathe. We forgot, the power of our breath. We forgot how to presence with our breath. Sometimes when we breathe, we are able to fully be available and present. So in addition to connecting to nature, really feeling the nature, connection to your breath, right? That's the
Yeah.
second. Physical body, whatever practice we're doing in the morning, from yoga to exercise through primal
Meditation.
moves
Yeah.
through and meditation, whatever you do, I think it's super important to have that ritual, because I think that if we ritualize our life right now, then we can have a structure that sustain us. I see when I coach people, if they don't ritualize their life, if they don't do repetitive motion every day, every day, every day, again and again and again, we have difficulty sustaining our energy field. So meditation practices, whatever the meditation is for you, from transcendental meditation to expansion meditation, through energy chakra meditation, whatever it feels right, through simple mindfulness meditation, just breathing and being present and being in the stillness. I think it's very, very important for us to keep on doing that. So my daily ritual, it's really, really big. So in order for me to be able to do what I do nowadays, it takes me 2 hours every morning.
So it means you get up like 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, five. I'm a member of 5 a.m. club. I'm early riser, so it takes me 2 hours. By 7:30, I'm ready to start.
It's actually wonderful. I remember when I studied Kundalini yoga, it's ages ago, but
Mhm.
that was a recommendation, not only to get up early to like catch up with all that you have to do, but if you get up early at 5 o'clock in the morning, the energy is still very silent, and it's a very nurturing energy for us and for our bodies. So also practice that, not as much as you do, but I'm doing my best, to get up early in the morning and to like connect with my body, to connect with the thoughts that I have, and actually
Mm.
integrate all of that so that I can be instead of do all the time.
That's it. That,
Yeah.
that that's our biggest thing. And I'm happy that you're saying that, Vladica. That's the whole thing. Be instead of do, because our societies, we're just trained to be addicted to doing.
Yes.
We are in action all the time. We perform. We have to-do lists. We have shopping lists. We have
Yeah,
KPIs. We have the whole society. It's saying doing is good, and I agree. I mean, doing is fun, but we need to also know how to be.
exactly, exactly. And that is actually the hardest part.
It is, isn't it?
So, Zoran, like, what is your vision of coaching? If coaching were to evolve into a fully embodied energetic art, what would it look like? What would you like to see in
Wow.
the world?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a beautiful question, and thank you so much for that. So my vision of coaching, op- my vision of coaching, it's immense. So I'm somebody in the coaching profession who always holds other coaches accountable to the bigger vision.
Mhm,
Uh, I think that the coaching as a profession, it's set up to support evolution of humanity. So I
mhm,
think that coaching has a specific function, and the reason why it has a specific function for humanity is because of that whole beautiful statement: you are the key, everything is within you. You know how to relate to your life, and you need to learn how to tune into your body as an instrument. So to start from that point, that the pure potential of coaching will be to activate human beings to the full expression of their possibilities, to go from the spaces of Homo sapiens to Homo illuminus. There is this wonderful new term, Homo illuminus. And Homo illuminus, it's a being, a human being that is fully activated his capacities, any superpowers that we hold as humanity, from telepathy to teleportation to innate sensing to remote visioning, for us being able to live not only 50 years or 60, 70 and die, but for us to be able to rejuvenate our bodies, for us to be able to extend our lifespans to 800 years or 900 years, that we actually set up to do by many researches. This is what our body is actually set up to endure. um, for us to be able as humanity to realize the wildest and most amazing dreams, because a lot of people get disheartened in living the life because they're not able to realize their potential, right? So they want to create certain things, they want to realize, make big companies, create success, or have wonderful relationships, have great families, but then sometimes people struggle and they're not able to. So that vision of humanity, of humor, Homo luminous, it's that somebody who's really able to realize that full potential. And most of all, for vision of coaching, for me, it's to teach ourselves, humanity, that we create reality. I think for me, that's the key. If people are trained through coaching and coached through the coaching process to activate their ability to create consciously the reality, then I think the game of life is won. Then I think that people will be creating exactly what I want in a positive way. And we will be able to co-create reality that we want to create. So for me, that the most important piece, especially right now, is this reality creation piece, and teaching people, especially young adults, how to use their energy, use their mind, use their heart to create what they really want to see.
Wow, this is so beautiful. This is so big. This is actually huge.
Mm.
So, do you have like thousands of people contributing to you in this vision of yours, or?
There are thousands of people that they're scattered in different communities. I mean, the shared vision of human illuminous, and somebody who is the new version of human being. It's something that has been alive in indigenous tribes, something that has been alive in the consciousness of spiritual teachers and way showers around the world, something that has been alive in even in the rural communities. We all know that this is our next level of evolution, and we all play a significant part. So when it comes to, is this spread through big consciousness? Absolutely. Is it only spread to the coaching community? Yes, and much more.
Mhm.
Because when I go to different conferences and different events, I always meet people with the same mission and the same purpose. And when I ask them, and what are you here to do? What is your service to humanity? What is your contribution? Everybody says we want to see humanity evolving to the next level of themselves. We want to see our planet Earth evolving to the next iteration of itself. We want to see the new Earth evolving. We want to see, all of that. Everybody's tuning to this. And I feel that we're nearly there. I feel that, sometimes people think this is a reality that is really, really far away from us. And especially if you look into the news and you're somebody who wakes up in the morning and puts the TV or the YouTube on, and then you see the global state of affair, people can get disheartened and say, wow, we're so far away. Look at this war, that war, that war, that war, this economic crisis, this president, this prime minister. If you tune into that, of course, you can doubt what I'm saying right now. But if you let go of that program
And you
of
step into
media,
your capacity, as you say, of creating your own reality.
that's it. Then you
That's a
change it.
different thing. Yeah.
That's a different thing. And this is what we all call to do right now. We need to step into that capacity of creating our reality. That's our biggest learning and our biggest job.
Well, what would it take for that to be our reality? That's my
Mm,
daily question, actually.
mm.
But what one just like to capture it up here. I'm so grateful for everything. What is the one resistance or belief that you like see people have to overcome? Is it like to stop listening to the media, or what is it? What is it that we have to overcome, like in order to fully step into activating our potential?
Yeah, two. I'm going to give you two beliefs, not only
Yeah.
one, because they're really powerful. And this is me coaching in every culture, and this is so, it's interesting. First one, I'm not good enough.
Wow.
The humanity in general shares this belief. If you go to the layers of consciousness and you begin peeling the onion and coaching people to why are you not able to reality create what you really want, people deeply believe they're not good enough.
Yeah.
And
So
it's the
it's the
program that we
the competence.
yeah, exactly. And this is the program that we all share, on different levels. Sometimes I can project myself to confidence and security, but sometimes if you ask me the deeper questions, I can really quickly come to the I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. That's the big one. That's the something that we all need to evolve. But for real, you know what I mean? It's not the ego projection. I'm boosting my confidence through my willpower. It's genuine
Yeah.
knowing that we're good enough and that we are enough and that we're perfect enough and that we're capable. No
Yeah.
matter what your competency is, no matter if you have MBA degree or you have multiple diplomas or you have never studied or you decided to, do alternative route. It doesn't really matter, what is your education. You are good enough.
Start
That's
actually loving yourself as you are and being grateful for being here alive in this moment right now. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And the second one?
The second one is that the success or ability to create only happens to few selected people, and that
Mm.
everybody else would never be able to achieve this because it's limited. The energy is limited, the success is limited, the capacity is limited. So there is not enough for me and you to be successful. It's either me or you, but not both of us, because there's only limited capacity of that. And that's also illusion. It's not true. Everybody can be successful.
So
Everybody can unfold.
it's like an implanted lie that we are buying, and we are actually choosing to trust this lie and live with it. This is
That's it.
really, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And then we act on it and we behave and believe it. We energize it. And that stifles our creativity. Then we get competitive. Then we get jealous. Then we get, all of that comes out of that, envy and all of the negative emotions will come because we simply believe it's limited. And it's not true. It's unlimited. The energy is literally unlimited. The potential is unlimited. The success is unlimited. The everything that we want is available, and you just need to tap into it and change a little bit how you see reality, how you interact with reality, how you think about reality, how you sense reality, and really understand yourself, understand that program that you and I are talking about. What is preventing you
Mm.
of being that best possible version of yourself? And
So
I would say be
mainly what you are
courageous.
saying is that we are actually choosing to let all our emotions distract us instead of stepping into the capacity of I'm going to create my life and this is what I'm going to choose. And I am going to ask myself questions about what is going on here? Why am I
Mm,
behaving like this? Can I
yeah,
change it? And if so, how? Yeah, yeah.
that's it. That's it. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. So those are the two biggie ones. I mean, and there are many, many more, as you know, there are many, many more to play. But if you eradicate and evolve those two big ones, especially when you're younger, in your early 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, then the life will change for everybody. So it's important.
Yeah, and as I learned in your coaching training, is that actually everything in life is also in cycles, right? So
Correct.
life is changing, and we are changing in
Mhm.
cycles together with the
Yeah.
earth.
Correct. And then, our capacity to really become one of the earth, to become friends with the earth, we have distant ourselves from the earth in itself. We forgot about cycle of moon and cycle of sun and
Yeah,
cycle of nature. And we forgot about seasons. We are distancing ourselves from that and nowadays more and more people are going back into that organic connection to the earth and the cycle of our life. And when we do this, we get into the harmony, we get into the peace, we also get into the alignment by understanding that, for example, when I coach some of my executives, the success and up curve is not normal. The nature needs to go up and down. Sometimes you're winning and sometimes you need to go and
yeah,
decompress. You
yeah.
cannot be in a acceleration all the time because eventually you're going to burn out because it's not natural, right?
But
Nobody can sustain
but
that.
it's like the universe also, isn't universe like, contracting, expanding,
Expanding.
expanding? Yeah,
Correct, correct.
yeah,
All the time, all the time. It's a movement. It cannot be just one dimension, right?
exactly,
But
exactly.
again, how we see ourselves and how we train to perceive reality and what is the expectation. That's another thing.
Yeah.
What is the expectation that is given to us that we need to deliver to? We need to question that a little bit, discernment, questioning, asking, being curious. Why is that why is this like this? Why do we think like that? Why do we work like that? And so on and so forth. That curiosity is really important.
Yeah, what is this? What is this? What is this? Yeah, and why is it like that? Wow, thank you so much. I am actually energized by this conversation. I don't know about
Good.
everyone here online, but I'm energized and um, I just wonder, like, to as a closing, what one thing from our conversation would you like our listeners to remember? What is it that you would like to leave as an impactor here to our listeners?
Yeah. So for me, if you were to remember from wonderful conversation that I have with you, which I really enjoyed, that's this notion that you start believing that you're creating and co-creating your reality,
Yeah,
that with your thoughts, with your feelings, with your actions, you have direct impact around how this physical reality around you is going to shape and what is going to be an outcome of that. And become curious about it. Really become curious. How does this work? How does the reality works? Because this is something that we have been given when you were born in this human body. This is something that we need to figure out. Nobody gave us the manual and told us, okay, this is how you create reality and this is your experience. I think part of our life journey, our life quest is to work it out. It's like a game. So ask yourself a question. How does it work out? Go backwards in your life. See when you have created wonderful things in your life. What were you thinking? How you were being? What were you feeling so that you have experienced this amazing situation that you really are happy with? Go back, reflect in the situation when something less positive, something more negative happened. What happened in that space as well? And learn how to experiment and gain the understanding of conscious reality creation.
I love it. Yeah, and if you have created it once, you can create it again.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Even better because you had experience, even
Exactly,
more because you
exactly.
know how
And
to
it's
do it.
not so
It's something
scary
different as
anymore.
well.
Yeah, and it's
Exactly.
not so scary anymore. I meet people in my sessions and they talk a lot about fear, but
Mm.
yeah. So Zoran, thank you, thank you, thank you. So where can our listeners find you if they want to
Yeah.
attend the training with you or
Yeah, there are many, many social platforms. tnmcoaching.com is the one. Through there, you have a lot of educational steps from us. There's social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. We are on social media besides TikTok. And also, there is my personal website, which is zorantodorovic.space as well. You can also, if you want to know a little bit more about me personally, then you can go to that landing page as well. Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Have fun listening to the power of consciousness and see you soon. Bye.